Hey gang, Jamie Aston here, and I want to talk to you all about one of my projects I put together earlier this month. Um, as some of you all have seen, I have a fish finder on my kayak. It is not a permanent setup. The transducer is stuck inside the hull using duct seal, and the power that's the power what's powering the fish finder is four 8 AA batteries, and that's also inside the hull of the kayak. So I have two wires coming out of the inside of the kayak, coming through one of the Tupperware lids, and that's the main Tupperware hatch at the front of the boat. So pretty much all of it is sealed around except where the wires are coming out. It works. Thing is, the transducer being inside the hull is sometimes, it takes a while for the temperature to read correctly, as it's reading also the inside of the hull and not just the water. And sometimes it can be a little wonky. I don't know if I have maybe a small pocket of air, or maybe the boat is, when the kayak is tilted or in a different position, it doesn't work. But, transducer is designed to be 100% in the water so it can give you the best readings. So, the fish finder I use on my kayak is a Garmin Echo 200. Has a 5-inch screen, and I really like the 200. I still have the box. I keep the box for a lot of things, but that's what it looks like. I really like the 200. It's been good to me. I've had it for just about a year now. Yeah, it's about to be April. I had my kayak. I just got my kayak around this time last year, so it's a year. Happy birthday, kayak. It's a dual beams grayscale. Pretty much what I use a fish finder for. Most importantly, depth and cover, and then finding the fish. That's cool. But I use it to make sure I know where I am and what type of water I'm fishing. What I did was, since I really like the Garmin Echo 200, I end up looking for a Garmin Echo 100 or 150, and I end up buying the Garmin Echo 151. I bought the 151 because, number one, this model is interchangeable with the 200 model, meaning I could use this this fish finder in the place of the other ones. The wire, the power cable, the transducer cables, they're all the same. This one is also a dual beam, which is also the same as that one. The difference is between the 151 and the 200 is this one has a 5-inch screen, this one has more of a 4-inch screen. So one of the things that you get on the 200 is that on the left side, I can see the little transducer bar or sonar reading from the top of the surface to the bottom, and anything that interferes with that gives a black dot, or you all see the cone, if you all know what I mean. And this one doesn't do that. This one also does dual screen, so I can see both beams at the same time. This one doesn't. It's you can only see one readout, whether it's the 77 or the 200, or yeah. So that's pretty cool. You just get more bang for your buck. Downside, you use just a little bit more battery life than this one would. This one's still going to be my main one, but I purchased this one so that I could make a portable unit that could work on Jacqueline's or anyone else's kayak, and one that I can take on the boat with me. Here's the product right here. Here's the 151. What I did was put it on a cutting board, just like I made a mount out of a cutting board for my original fish finder. What this is right here is all it is a dry bag. It was made for cell phones, so you can see the batteries inside of it. I have it rolled down twice, and the power cable does not have a hard bend in it at all, so I don't have to worry about breaking the copper and shorting it out. I cleverly, to me at least, kind of made the bends in each fold to where they're going lengthwise and then going over the bend. So it's a smaller bend. You know, it's not anything hard like that. It's real soft and going over to get back down in here due to this being folded twice. The band that the Garmin Echo 151 fits on, the 200 will fit on it as well. But the difference between the 200 and the 150, I gotta find my cradle now, is that the 151 has the locking bracket built in a place it shouldn't have been, in a bag. Why would I put that in that bag in particular? Okay, and the 200 fits into this cradle, and the cradle fits into the base. And the cool thing about the 200 is that the wires stay inside the little holes. There's another difference between the 151 and 200. The 200 can read. It has a power port, it has a transducer port, and it has a speed port. Whereas the 151 only has a power and a transducer port. That's why you have 3 holes right here. Now the 200 doesn't come with a it does not come with a speed reader, but you can add that. I think it was like $20. I don't need it on my kayak, but if you're on a boat, maybe you want to see how fast you're going, and the 200 could do that for you. But as you see, the cradle fits onto the same dock. So now I can make my Garmin Echo 200 or the 151 portable and take with me using the same power source. Now here's what I did with the transducer. The transducer is fitted onto a piece of PVC. It's like a foot of PVC going to a T. I got the slots cut out right here to naturally fit where the transducer fits into its regular bracket. Inside I just have the bolt going through and locking to a locking bolt on the other side. The wire for the transducer, I drilled a hole into the underside of the PVC so it could fit through, and it comes out of this end of the PVC. I made a slight little elbow bracket out of another piece of PVC that has a slight point up, and this is what's connecting the two is just bungee, so that it can bend and move around or what have you. But the thing is that the wire isn't going to be in a position to be pinched or come out at a hard turn to where it can bend or break, or even if this bumps into something, there just won't be any of that. The only thing with this setup is, I'm not going to say the only thing. Okay, and so then you have all of this wire. You have all of this wire, of course, because the transducer is long, and y'all can mount this anywhere. Now this is the second version I made for this. And the only difference is I routed the wire inside the PVC tube and I shortened it up. It used to be a lot longer than this, almost 2 feet. But that was just a hassle. It wasn't portable enough for me. Now it's just as long as this base is. And the idea behind this is that you put this on the side of your boat or on the side of your kayak. You just throw it overboard. The transducer is always submerged. It's always submerged, but never sinks. It's submerged. The rest of it is above water, or right there at the water line. But this is submerged underwater. Gives 100% accurate readings. What you do with these two hooks, there's a hook at the front and the back. Hook these on your kayak wherever you can, or on the boat. I've used this on a boat. Will and I rented a boat. We threw this overboard. We had the fish finder sitting on one of the benches. We could read. We had all-day battery life on those 8 AA batteries, and we just had these hooked somewhere inside the boat. Never had an issue. Not one issue. Only thing with the kayak is when you're doing this, when you're about to come on land, don't drag it. Just toss it up between your legs or something like that, and because you don't want to damage these. I do have a back hook on the back of the stand, and what this hook is for is so you can connect this base down to something in case you flip over or anything happens. You don't want to lose your fish finder. so it fits in. You just snap that on. We've used this, like I said, I've used this setup on a rented boat, and Jacqueline, whenever she goes out with me, she uses this fish finder. Put it on the front of her boat, on the front of her kayak, connected to some bungees, throw that overboard. She gets accurate readings. Don't have to worry about anything. It's she can see it, you know, day or night, because it also has a backlight like the 200 does. So I'm really happy with the 151. I ended up paying $100 for this 151. Yeah, you can get a color Lowrance and things like that, but again, the main reason why I purchased the 151 is that I wanted a smaller unit compared to the 200, and I need these parts and pieces to be interchangeable. Anything can happen with my setup now. Whether I break it, cut a wire, and I can still pull it from the other box. Originally, I was buying extra pieces. I was going to buy a transducer and a power cable so I could make my, and I was going to buy, which I did buy this, and a second mounting bracket for the 200 so I could just make it portable and move it around. But looking at the parts and the prices, for like $20 more, I could buy another fish finder. So that's what I did. But I bought a second bracket. So now I have a third bracket. Because as portable as this setup is, the one place where it doesn't work is on my float tube, or a float tube. That base is just too big to try to put on the float tube. So now I have a third mount. I have a third mount where I could use this tray to use it to use a 200, but probably I will be using the 151. So I'm going to be coming up with a mount that can fit on my float tube, the current one that I have, and for a future one that I can fit this base on and take care of. Probably use some cutting board as well. Just to go back to this real quick so you can see the size of it. And so you can see it with the transducer set up. This is very packable, actually. I mean, I can get away with packing this thing down. I'll put that on that side so y'all can see. I'll get away with packing this thing down in a suitcase. I can take it back home with me and anything else. One of the things I do want to point out real quick is I did have an idea originally. That's why I cut these lines so far up. The original idea was that the transducer, if I was going to put it on the stern of a boat, I'll flip this PVC pipe up and the transducer, so now it could be up like this, and the transducer could be flat in the wire, and I just hang it on the side. And you could still do that. What I did was I drilled 2 holes in the underside. You probably can't see that, but I drilled 2 holes right here in these little extra pieces of plastic on the transducer, and I ran just a wire, twist tie, heavy duty twist tie, to keep it in place. So I could always take it off and then this thing would fold. And I was thinking like, oh, maybe you could drop it down on the dock or somewhere else where you're fishing, bank fishing or something like that. But if you're going to go through all that, you can still use this tube and do the same way. I could use this tube on the bank or somewhere else, you know, as long as the transducer reaches, drop it down and read out the reading. So, you know, shoot, this might be a cool little portable setup, especially for small bodies of water, you know, that are pretty deep right there. You could be bank fishing and using it. So, hey, anywho, I hope you all enjoy. If you have any comments, questions, please let me know. You know, otherwise, I'm happy. This works. I guess in final words, I'll say I'm really happy with the Garmin Echo 200 and the 151. It's been a year. Happy birthday, kayak. You know, it's been a year for me kayak fishing. You know, that's pretty cool. It's been probably one of the best things for me to do for fishing, you know, since I've been out here in California. I put a new lease on me fishing. Fish a whole lot more now. You all take care.